I spent 3 years as a professional ghost. That's the best way to describe being a hotel housekeeper at 26. You're invisible, you're efficient, and you're gone before the next guest even turns the handle. But being a ghost has a downside. You hear everything. And I do mean everything. Most people think hotel walls are thick. They aren't. Consequently, my shift wasn't just about scrubbing toilets, it was a front row seat to the private lives of strangers. This job is a race against the clock because we have a tight window to flip rooms. However, our hotel offered a 1-hour extension for guests who weren't ready to face reality. Usually, that extra hour was for hangovers. But on weekends, it was for something else. I'd be in a room, sweat on my brow, vacuuming a rug. Suddenly, a rhythmic thud would start against the shared wall. Moans. Gasps. The kind of raw, uninhibited noise that makes you realize just how alone you are in your own life. It was awkward at first. I felt like a creep. Therefore, I'd try to drown it out with the TV or the sink. Yet, the more it happened, the more the embarrassment started to shift into a strange, localized electricity. Think about it. I'm in a sterile, industrial uniform. I'm surrounded by bleach and dirty laundry. Nonetheless, just 3 inches of drywall away, 2 people are losing their minds in a tangle of sheets. The contrast was too much. I was isolated in my work, which resulted in my imagination running wild. I began to feel the vibrations in the floorboards. I'd find myself leaning against the wall, my heart hammering a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I wasn't just a cleaner anymore. I was a participant. Then came the Tuesday that changed everything. I was in room 304. The couple in 305 wasn't just loud, they were theatrical. Every sound they made felt like a direct invitation. I knew my supervisor was 2 floors down. Moreover, I knew that as long as my cleaning in progress sign was out, the world would leave me alone. I dropped the sponge. I sat on the edge of the bed. The sheets were cool, but my skin was on fire. I listened to a woman scream in a way I never had. As a result, I stopped fighting the urge. I let my hand wander. It wasn't just about the physical act, it was the sheer, terrifying risk of it. I was having fun in a room that had to be guest-ready in 10 minutes, fueled by the soundtrack of Total Strangers. It was the most intense moment of my life. Since that day, the job stopped being a chore. It became a hunt. I learned which rooms had the thinnest walls. I learned which guests looked like they'd take that extra hour. Accordingly, my workday became a series of calculated intermissions. I don't work there now. I've moved on to a real office job with thick walls and boring people. But whenever I check into a hotel, I don't just look at the view. I look at the wall. I wonder who's on the other side. And more importantly, I wonder if the girl with the cleaning cart is standing in the silence, listening to me, and waiting for her turn to disappear. I think it's safe to say we're all looking at hotel rooms a little differently now. Think about the psychology here. Most of us go into a hotel room and feel totally anonymous. We think the 4 walls are a fortress of privacy. However, this story proves that privacy is an absolute illusion. While you're in there living your most uninhibited life, there is literally a person on the other side of that drywall who knows your name, knows your face, and is now, apparently, using your intimate moments as their 11 a.m. entertainment. But here's the real kicker, the part that's going to live rent-free in my head: the timing. She wasn't just listening, she was waiting. She turned a minimum wage grind into a high-stakes psychological game. Therefore, the next time you hear a vacuum shut off in the hallway right as things start getting interesting in your room, just know you might be giving someone the highlight of their shift. I've got to know, is this a 1-in-a-million story, or is the hospitality industry just one giant, shared secret? If you've worked in a hotel, or if you've been the noisy neighbor, you have to drop a comment below. Maybe use a burner account for this one.